Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, NWO, Edge, Lita, Macho Man Randy Savage. What's one thing they all have in common between them? They are all inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame. It is something that legends of the past and superstars of today all strive to achieve as a personal honor. But there are those that simply rejected the opportunity to be enshrined in WWE's Hall of Fame. I'm Kevin, and here are 5 superstars who don't want to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Scott Steiner. Scott Steiner had quite the career in both WWE and WCW, but it appears he is a superstar that has been quite outspoken about his status with the WWE Hall of Fame. The former tag team champion has become well known for being rather outrageous and opinionated, something that was confirmed when he opened up about the Hall of Fame back in 2018. He unleashed quite a rant about the WWE as part of an interview on Sitting Ringside's podcast and how fake the Hall of Fame was in his opinion. First off, where the is the Hall of Fame? How can you be a Hall of Fame if it doesn't exist? It exists in just Vince's mind. Were you thinking that at all? Did a majority of fans thought that at all? In a later interview with Wrestling Inc., Steiner went on and elaborated on his previous comments, saying, "People take it too seriously. Some guys really just mark out for themselves and think how great it is. It's freaking fake." Scott Steiner doesn't want to be in the Hall of Fame, but we don't know what his brother Rick Steiner thinks of it, and the Steiner brothers together as a tag team absolutely should be regarded as a Hall of Fame legendary tag team act. Steiner is currently still active at the age of 59 and recently performed in the last few years as an in-ring talent with the National Wrestling Alliance. Outside of wrestling, he's stayed active while recently running a restaurant. Number 4, Buff Bagwell. Buff Bagwell was a part of the NWO during his time in WCW, but when WWE looked to bring the group back together after purchasing the company, Bagwell wasn't a part of the team. Bagwell's stint in WWE was short and brief and ended in 2001, so we can understand if you don't really remember his contributions in the NWO. As part of a recent podcast appearance on the show Who the Fuck Are These Guys?, Bagwell revealed that he was offered a chance to go into the WWE Hall of Fame with the NWO, but turned it down as he didn't want to be just another guy getting associated with the legendary group. He revealed turned down the WWE's offer by stating, "I don't want to be a part of a group in the Hall of Fame. I don't want to be like Brett Favre getting a ring because of the Green Bay Packers." The NWO was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2020 with Hulk Hogan, X-Pac, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall all receiving the honor. Will Buff and his stuff of airbrushed top hats ever grace the WWE Hall of Fame? The future will reveal that to us. Number 3, Sabu. One of the most extreme performers in the history of professional wrestling. He's perhaps best known to mainstream WWE audiences as one of the members of WWE's revival of ECW in 2006, but his legendary career dates back to the 90s when he became a household name in the original ECW and put his body on the line every single night in some of the most intense and violent matches. Overseas in Japan, he once performed in a match in FMW where all of the ropes were on fire. Why would what? No. Back in 2015, Sabu made it clear he wasn't eyeing for the WWE Hall of Fame induction. He further noted that the induction in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, quote, would mean so much more to him. The former star noted that WWE's Hall of Fame is, quote, just another payday for the company rather than an event that honors wrestling talent. Putting over the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the ECW legend added, "They don't put in someone who sang the national anthem or someone who did one appearance. It's the fakest Hall of Fame I've ever heard of." Number 2, X-Pac. Yes, even before we begin, X-Pac is actually a 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, but the star has been added as a member of D-Generation X and the New World Order. The former WWE superstar has opened up about the fact that he has no desire to be added to the WWE Hall of Fame as a singles performer because he isn't comfortable speaking publicly. X-Pac has been inducted as a member of other bigger groups and went on stage and accepted the honor with that group, but doesn't really want to be on stage by himself. The DX legend noted in an interview with Wrestling Inc. that he doesn't want to become the first ever 3-time WWE Hall of Famer if it means he has to go into the class alone. I don't like that situation. Standing there in front of thousands and thousands of people, I was never the big jibber jar. Well, this is a pretty different reason for wanting to go in for a guy who's already technically in the Hall of Fame. And if you have an issue with him not wanting to go into the Hall of Fame under those reasons, I'm gonna jump through the screen and give you a Bronco Buster. Look it up. Number 1, Jeff Hardy. The charismatic enigma only recently was released from WWE under some very odd circumstances circumstances where he was performing at a live event during a match and appeared to be worse for wear and left the match. WWE offered him rehab. He rejected this, saying he was not abusing recreational drugs, and it has already emerged that the former world champion also rejected a recent offer from WWE to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. According to a recent report by the Wrestling Observer, WWE officials called Hardy an attempt to offer him a return to the company and a Hall of Fame induction later this year, but the former star turned it down. Instead of accepting the offer, Hardy reportedly asked for the drug test results he had to take on his exit from the company because he knew he wasn't going to test positive for recreational drugs. Although it is not revealed as to why Jeff Hardy specifically turned down the Hall of Fame offer, it can be assumed that under the circumstances of his recent exit, it sort of makes sense. I don't know. And obviously, many people anticipate that Jeff Hardy will reunite with his brother Matt Hardy to once again reform the legendary Hardy Boys tag team in a certain place where things are apparently elite. Jeff Hardy's non-compete clause is set to expire March 9th, 2022.